Okay, so be careful what you say from now on because you are being recorded.
Darn.
Now, who's our new Kathleen Caswell in the red?
Oh, that would be me. I kind of like that name. I usually go by Heather Amundsen, but Kathleen is fine.
Or Heather. Heather works too.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another Kathleen, but she doesn't have her video on, so I don't know who that would be.
Does that make 3 Kathleens?
Well, actually, there were a lot more just before you came on, but
Sorry about that.
Well, you're wearing red too, Kathleen. How are we ever supposed to tell?
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other lady at the top, for me at the top with the white hair, she also has red and she also came in as Kathleen. Now, Richard Benton has red on, but he didn't come in as Kathleen.
Nope.
It is 7:02, but I'll give it another couple more minutes.
Okay.
There now, so I don't feel left out. I'll be Kathleen.
Yeah.
All the wannabes, all these wannabes.
That's right.
Oh, can't spell secretary.
So Lynn, since we're waiting, what happened with the motorcycle gathering thing? I'm a little bit confused.
Okay, so what happened was Phyllis tried to get me to do something on 2 Saturdays, and I personally didn't have time to do any of it. So what's happening now, because she brought the idea of the motorcycle fellowship to the, where did you go? Oh, there it is. To the executive, and someone brought up the idea of insurance. You know, when you're riding as an organized event sponsored by a group, for example, the Hog chapter, you'd have to have waivers and you have to have proper insurance there. And we have not looked into that well enough to actually have a sponsored event sponsored by Rotary. So like if something happened on a sponsored event, like she was planning, and if something happened, I mean, somebody could sue Rotary. So we're still going to do something. She's thinking of having an idea of everyone going out on their own and sort of taking pictures of themselves, saying what they've done, and then come back to the group and then share their.
Cool. Now, is there any way to connect to those people that wrote in though? Like for example, I'm actually jumping on the bike on Friday and we're heading to way northern Quebec. We're doing the Trans-Tioga Road.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to be in Val d'Or on Friday evening and Saturday morning.
Okay.
But I don't know who to connect to in Val d'Or.
Okay, so who you should connect with is Don McInnes.
Okay. Yes, I have already. Yeah.
Okay,
And Doug, you need to wipe down that lens on your camera.
so they would have the list of people who had signed up for that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I think we had better start. It is 7:04. First of all, this is going to be recorded. So I just want to inform everyone that it is going to be recorded. So please temper your vocabulary. And the reason
Side voices.
and the reason why we're recording is we will be asking you for some, not advice, but just ideas. And instead of having Kathleen and I, at least one of the Kathleens and I writing down information, we thought if we had it recorded, we could go back over the recording and then we would get all the input from everyone here. So it is going to be recorded. So welcome to the ECO cause-based group information evening. Thank you for having an interest in the environmental group that we're hoping to start. My name, maybe everyone knows, I'm Lynn Chant. I'm the outgoing district governor this year. I have 7 more sleeps before I become
Who's counting?
governor, but who's counting? And I'm from the Peterborough Kawartha Club. And I would like to hand it over to the first Kathleen and have her introduce herself and what club she's from.
Okay, and we're also interested in hearing from each of you so we know where you're from. And Lynn might have already said this, but this is not necessarily a Rotary club. We are definitely open to all people. And emphasis is not going to be on Rotary, it's going to be on the environment. I am a little bit over the top when it comes to the environment, and I'm a bit of a joiner. So this will be my 5th environment group that I will be part of. I recently founded a Wasaga Beach Climate Action Group that's just starting up now. I've been in the Collingwood Climate Action Group for a couple of years now, and I belong to a group that is representing Simcoe County called Just Recovery Simcoe, and I have 2 other Rotary environment groups that are on the go. And I run my own business, so I do have some flexibility, and I particularly love the environment. I'm an outdoors person with lots of sports that I like to do, and that's so to protect it is close to my heart, and I imagine it will be with you as well, since you're here. So yes, that is my introduction. Lynn?
Okay, there is a core group of 4 of us. So as a district governor this year, when I found out that the environment was going to be the 7th area of focus for the foundation, I was really excited because, like Kathleen, the environment is very, very important to me. And we only have one planet to live on. And if we don't take care of it, and starting right now, we won't have it. So I thought we could start a couple of projects this year. And one of them was hopefully we're going to do a Great Lakes watershed cleanup, which expanded into the District 7010 Water Stewardship Initiative, which combined together to help us clean up the environment around the Great Lakes. And it also would challenge people who don't live around the Great Lakes to clean up any waterways in their area, sort of streams or rivers or lakes. Now that has been postponed and postponed and postponed because of the lockdown. So along with that, I also wanted to investigate forming a environmental group. And now originally it was going to be a Rotary type club, but we have been doing a little bit of investigating, and we'll talk about that, how it morphed into something else as we go through this hour. So Kathleen and I are members of the core members, and there are 2 other people, past District Governor Bill Hagboard. He is also with us today, and actually he's out in the environment right now, canoeing in Algonquin Park. So he's taking advantage of the lovely chilly weather. The other person who is a part of our group is a member of my club, Peterborough Kawartha Club. His name is Gunter Schubert, and he is our club's environmental guru. I mean, he is everything about environment. He always brings fantastic ideas about what one can do in the environment, how we can save the environment. So he's an integral part of our group as well. So that is the 4 of us. Now, Gunter is actually working tonight. He's a chef. He had a job last night, and he's actually spending some time cooking for a client tonight. So he's not here. But if you come back at our next meeting, you will meet Gunter as well. So the idea of the environmental club started with my visiting other districts in our zone, Zone 28, and everybody was saying, oh, well, we're going to make an eco club or an environmental club. So I started investigating different areas of the zone, and our Zone 28 goes all across Canada and into some parts of the States. And some of them were actually doing really well with these eco clubs. So I thought, well, why can't we do it in our district? So I sent out an email about asking people if they would be interested in getting involved with this. And of course, Kathleen was very, very interested. Gunter was very interested. And Bill, I coerced him into doing it. So, no, I didn't really, it was just a joke. So now what we have been looking at is we were initially going to have it as an environmental satellite Rotary Club. Now we're not going to do that because of the implications of it being a Rotary Club. it would mean that if you wanted to be a member of this eco club, eco e-club, and I'll explain that in a minute, that means that you would have to leave your club, give up your membership in your club and join our club, because you can only belong to one club. You can't belong to two. But what you can do is that you can maintain your membership in your own club, and you can do one of two things. You can just visit us. Whenever we have a meeting, you can visit us, get ideas from us, and go back to your clubs and share the information that you're getting from our environmental club. But so the reason why we decided not to make it a Rotary Club at this particular time is because we didn't want to focus on Rotary. We wanted to focus on the environment. We wanted to have a group of people who were really, really interested in performing some projects that had to do with the environment. We want to focus on the environment first. So that means that anyone of you who is a member of a Rotary Club, you can come into our meetings at any time, and you can share your information, or we can share the information that we get from our sources, our contacts with you, and you can take them back to your club. And this is going to be an e-club. What we are doing right now is we are trying to get this as a district-based group. And I'm not going to call it a club right now, a district-based group. So when I don't know if most of you know about how big the district is, but I always say it takes about 2 sleeps for me to get to Peterborough, from Peterborough to Hearst, or Peterborough to Val-d'Or. It doesn't take that long, but it feels like that long, especially when I'm on my motorcycle. But so we can't, reasonably meet in person. So it is going to be an e-club, which means it's going to be online. So we are going to be meeting online. Doesn't mean that we can't get together at some time. For example, if we go to a convention, or a conference, I should say, a conference, which is in Timmins this year, we could meet there and maybe even get together, talk about projects we would like to do, and maybe even do a project at the conference. Or we could meet at the Rotary Weekend, where we could get together physically again and meet in person. But it's not reasonable to meet in person during the year because we're so widespread apart. So the idea is that it's going to be an e-club, it's going to be, an e-group, and it's going to be focusing on the environment. And we want to make sure that we have a good time while we're doing it. We want to have fellowship as well. So it's not going to be a very structured group at this point in time, but when we come together, we are going to be concentrating on what we can do, everyone will bring ideas of what we can do to save our planet. So I'm hoping that sort of gives in a nutshell what we're going to be discussing tonight. So I'd like to turn it over to Kathleen.
Secretary Dave, could you just throw up the agenda, or throw up that PowerPoint for a second? Just one slide, just the second slide. I'll just run through the agenda for a second. So we've done number 1. Except for we did want to hear from each of you. So that's what we're going to do now. Yeah. And then we'll have a video and then we're going to talk, we'd like a little bit of discussion with you on what inspires you about being in an eco club. And then we're going to run through some project ideas that we had thought about and see what you think of them. A little bit more detailed information towards the end. And then we'll talk about an initial kickoff project that we might want to consider doing. So that's it. Secretary Dave, thank you very much. And could I ask you if you people are all right? Okay, there's 21 of you here now. Are you all right if I take your picture? If you don't want me to take your picture, just turn off your video. But I would like to have a picture of you so I can remember you. Okay, I'm going to take it now.
Smile, everyone.
I already have one. I just took a screenshot if you need it, Kathleen.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Secretary Dave. You are precious.
And I sorry, I didn't introduce Secretary Dave. Wave your hand, Secretary Dave.
Hi, I'm not secretary of this group. I'm just secretary for the district. I'm also Lynn's tech support. So
Yeah.
She asked me to help out.
Yes, thank you.
We're very glad to have him because we had an immediate problem. So you're great to be around. So what we would like though at this point is if we could go around, I'll actually call people because you're all in different sequences, and I'll do it in the sequence I'm seeing you. So just if you give us your name, if you happen to be a Rotary member, let us know what club. If you're not, that's fine too. Maybe just what city you're from. And so we're just going to go quickly around just to make sure we know who everybody is. So the first name in my sequence is Heidi Green. And remember to unmute and just say your city or your club.
So my name is Heidi Green, and I am a brand new Rotarian with the Rotary Club of Bracebridge.
Ah, thank you, Heidi. And Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin DeGroot. I'm with the Rotary Club of Wasaga Beach, past president, and yeah, very interested in what's going to be happening.
Thank you. Angela Knight.
Hi, I just like to say that I'm in North Bay that's situated on the traditional Anishinaabe territory on lands occupied by the peoples of Nipissing and Doki First Nations, whose Aboriginal treaty rights were recognized in the Robinson-Huron Treaty of 1850. And, Bill Hagberg was my president, and then he was my secretary and past president. And, a deer just went by. So sorry, that's it.
Thanks, Angela, and thanks you so much for that recognition of the land. Yes. Richard Denton?
I'm also with the Robertson Huron Treaty area in Sudbury, and I'm your district governor elect to be, nominee right now and elect in 7 days, I guess. So, and also involved locally with our Greater Sudbury Watershed Alliance, looking after our 300 lakes in Greater Sudbury.
Awesome. Oh, we got some powerhouses at this meeting.
Yes.
Thanks, Richard. Kazia Millian. Probably didn't say that right.
Hi, it's Kasia Millian. I'm not a Rotarian. I'm actually a friend of Gunter's and a neighbor, and have also, like Bill, a retired M&R person who's worked a lot of years with a lot of concepts with respect to sustainability and encouraging people towards understanding some of the way we interact with the environment. And I was quite captured with the idea of how Rotary, with its influence and attention, could probably really move some yardsticks within communities. And I really like the idea of an e-club because I've known friends who have been engaged in Rotary e-clubs that give it broader scope. So that's why I'm here exploring the idea today.
Thanks, Kasia. Doug Weber.
Good evening. Doug Weber with the Innisfil Rotary Group down here at the bottom end of our district. We border on Lake Simcoe. I've been a Rotarian for 10 years. Years and years ago in college, I studied terrain and water rehab, so environmental engineering. And we're trying to kick off some more stuff down here to support our lake system down here, which of course feeds into the Great Lakes and down the system. So here to support.
Thanks, Doug. Heather.
Hi, I'm Heather Amundsen. I'm a Rotarian at the South Georgian Bay Rotary Club here in Collingwood. Been a Rotary member for 3 or 4 years now. Interested in the environment and have always enjoyed the project part of Rotary more than the fundraising. So this had some appeal for me on multiple fronts.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Heather. Jill West. I know Jill. Jill and I bike together sometimes.
Yeah, I'm Jill West from Wasaga Beach, and I don't know much about Rotary, but I do know Kathleen. We keep bumping into each other at various causes and things, and I thought, well, if Kathleen's involved in this, I'll tune in and check it out.
Thanks so
thank you.
much for coming. Good, good. Glad to see you. Brian Nash.
Well, I'm Brian Nash from the Rotary Club of Halliburton, and the environment's been close to me for many, many years. I've been involved in the Climate Change Action Group in Minden and the Environment Green Energy Group in Dysart. It was the Enviro Hero Award in the county in 2019. The former owner of Halliburton Solar and Wind. I'm a certified solar trainer and developer.
Wow.
And so this is a great group, and I'm really, really happy to be here.
An Enviro, is it called Enviro Award?
Yeah, so we have an organization here called the Land Trust, and it's a fascinating organization. So people will gift land that is environmentally sensitive to the trust. And so the trust has a gala event, and each year they present what they call the Land Trust Enviro Hero Award. So I was fortunate enough to get it one year.
Well, I hope your solar and wind business didn't go out of business. I hope somebody.
Oh no,
took it over.
it's a very successful business. We won a North American award in San Francisco in 2015 at the Intersolar conference for innovation. The business actually helped me win an award through a Canada award called 50 over 50. So people that are over the age of 50 that are successful entrepreneurs based on innovation. So yeah, great business and great new owners. And so I'm looking for things to do.
Good.
Ah,
Great.
yeah, that background's going to be very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Joanne Lai?
Hi, I moved to Wasaga 6 months ago, and I saw a note about cleaning up the beaches, and then that got canceled. And so then I got an invite to this discussion meeting tonight, and I'm not a Rotarian. I don't know much about it, but I just came to listen and see what this is all about.
Fantastic. That's great. Yes, I think I sent those emails out about the cleanup project that got canceled. Great, great, Joanne. Stephen McPhail.
Hi, so Steve McPhail. I'm a member of the Sudbury Sunrisers Club. In my present job, environmental protection is part of that for mining exploration. So I have an interest from an industrial standpoint, and the other part is from a recreational standpoint. I'm an avid outdoors person. I've organized a Facebook group in Sudbury, Sudbury Fresh Air. So we do monthly outdoor activities. We have about 140 members right now. Yeah, and so it's been a little smaller numbers since and a couple of one canceled event with COVID, but hopefully get back on track next month.
Thank you.
Fantastic. I like that name, Sudbury Fresh Air. Good. And Valerie Johnston.
Hi, I'm Valerie Johnston. I'm the president-elect. I get to say that for another week or so. After which it gets really scary. The Rotary Club of Gravenhurst. And I'm interested in this on a personal level because right behind me is Lake Muskoka. And living where I do, I get to witness up close and personal the effect of environmental degradation every day. And it's quite frankly really scary. But from a Rotary perspective, we were really quite enthusiastic when we heard that that was being included as another area of service. One of our members was very enthusiastic about taking over a committee and had a number of personal involvements that made it difficult for her to do so. So I'm trying to figure out what our options are at this point. So I'm anticipating this is going to be really helpful. I'm going to take whatever it is back to Mary Ann and tell her to run with it.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
And Judy Dunbar, I also know her in Wasaga Beach. Nice to see you.
Greetings, Kathleen. Nice to see you and everyone else. I'm here because of you and your message about the cleanup at the beach. I live in Wasaga Beach and not too far from Kathleen. I've been involved in recycling since I was 19, I think, and I'm just passionate about eliminating plastics, and I'm all for promoting these bags, which you may have seen in your grocery stores, called Bag to Earth. And they're compostable bags, and I'm all for those of different sizes. As I say, live in Wasaga Beach, but I used to live up in Castle Glen on the escarpment. I was secretary there of the ratepayers and encouraged. I'm a member also of the Blue Mountain Watershed Trust, and I'm very concerned about the wetlands and our ecological, our planet is so stressed that I think this is a wonderful thing that you're doing and setting up here, Kathleen, and others in this group. I'm not a member of Rotary, but I'm very interested in learning what I can do to help move the safety of our planet forward. Thank you.
Thanks you so much, Judy. It's amazing how when people are presenting themselves, how so many people are involved in many aspects of it already. And, you know, they always say, give a busy person something to do and it'll get done. You know, people just can add it to their list. Now, my screen is jumping around a bit, but I think Neil Hutchison has not talked yet. Thank you, Neil.
Sorry, I just joined. I just got off another 2.5-hour meeting. So.
Oh. Okay. And could you just introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, I'm Neil Hutchinson. I'm in the Bracebridge Club and a member for 5 years. I live out in the country in Muskoka, and my career is environmental science, aquatic science.
Wow, great.
Wow.
Great.
We've got some great.
A lot of contacts here and resource people. Wonderful.
Yeah, totally awesome.
The meeting I just finished.
Go ahead.
The meeting I just finished was I'm on the executive of Georgian Bay Forever. So this is a group of Georgian Bay cottagers who do science on Georgian Bay. So
perfect.
Oh, I talk to Brooke almost every day, Neil. Brooke is one of Brooke Harrison. Anyway.
Don't know that name.
Okay. She works for Georgian Bay Forever, and she takes care of the shoreline cleanups.
Oh, okay. Yes. One of the, okay.
One of the staff.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Kara Hofstumer.
Hi, Kathleen.
Hi.
I'm in the Rotary Club of Barrie with your secretary, Dave, there. And I'm the chair of the environmental committee this year. So I thought I'd pop on and see what's relevant and obviously gain some great resources and knowledge through all of you. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. And there's somebody with initial CP, or that's not Secretary Dave, no. CP with, that's muted. Maybe they are not there. Okay. All right. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Everybody, we got to meet everybody. Fabulous. And I do want to repeat, I know Lynn said this, that you absolutely do not need to be a Rotarian. We're very happy to have, and I know you might feel like you're one of few that are not Rotarians, but that is totally what we want. We want both categories. So don't think about it. We're all environmentalists. That's what we are.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda, we're going to see a Rotary video. I'm wondering if we could get that up. Do Dave or Kathleen have that?
Let me give it a try, Dave.
Invisible eyelid lift strips are revolutionizing the market in the US.
Hold on.
Do you have
what this video is for those of you who are Rotarians? This will be speaking to the audience, Rotarians, but it'll be of interest to those of you who are not Rotarians. So I'm wondering, Kathleen, is this,
Is there any, would you happen to be seeing it, or you're seeing the Eco Club?
yeah, we're seeing the Eco Club.
Okay. Okay, hold on. I should have sent.
Inspired in a traditional club experience.
There it is. I see it now.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to say.
Can you make a big picture, the bigger picture?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I am just glad you're seeing it because.
Yep. And make a full screen. Yep.
Here goes. Whoops. There we go.
Okay.
Everybody ready?
Yeah.
We share the same ideals, a passion for community.
We'll just start it a little.
Dedicated
There we
people
go.
who share the same ideals, a passion for community service and friendship. And while some are inspired in a traditional club experience, others want to dedicate their skills and resources to a single cause in their communities. That's why alternative club models, such as cause-based clubs, are impactful and expand our reach. These clubs organize programs, implement projects, around a specific focus. For example, these two clubs in the United States have built their culture around environmental issues.
Eco Club membership is an opportunity to build new relationships, leadership skills, with a focus on environmental sustainability.
As newer clubs, they can establish their own norms that fit membership's needs.
Each month, we take a field trip to a speaker's place of business that focuses on protecting our planet's health.
Speakers are experts in sustainability or recycling, and the club's service projects focus on beautification and preservation of the planet. The successes are visible in the club's growing diverse membership. Explore a new club model. Attract new members and participants. Continue making an impact. Grow Rotary.
Thank you for listening to that. Great. It did, and had some Rotary references and some US references, but you got the picture. We're going to concentrate on the environment. Is that me?
I don't know who that is. Okay. So we are going to be starting this group and we want to, we've already seen there's a number of you who have backgrounds in environmental initiatives, and you are going to be a great help to us. What we are going to be doing starting next month is we're going to start looking at ways that we as a group could do something, some kind of a project that we could do as an eco club going forward, doing something as far as saving the planet or environment. And Gunter came up with a number of ideas or projects that are just here for you to think about. So I'm going to go over his project list. I don't know if Kathleen, if you want to bring up that slide, but I will be talking in more detail than the slide. So there's a number of things we can be doing. We can be doing cleanup initiatives, roadside and park cleanups, cigarette butt blitz. I don't know about you, but when you go for a walk, you see tons of cigarette butts all over the place. And Gunter was telling me that we can actually do an initiative where we can actually buy these little cigarette tubes where people, and we can put them out around the community and have people put their cigarette butts in there. But then of course somebody has to clean them out. So that's a point of discussion, but that's an idea. You could collect old iron and it could be a fundraiser, just like a bottle drive or collecting iron. And I see a lot of locations in my community where you can drop off metal goods, and somebody, of course, collects them and sells them. But we could do something like a fundraiser, and Gunter could explain it better than I. Deep clean up campaigns in ravines and wastelands. So we could organize groups where we could do cleanups in those areas where we do a cleanup in our club, and we do it's called River Road that connects Peterborough and our nearest town, Lakefield, and we do a River Road cleanup twice a year. And this is a location where many people go fishing. And I don't know if you fish, but if you fish, you usually get those little styrofoam cups full of worms or whatever they use to bait fish for fish. And they have fishing wires, and they have their lunch, and they have this and they have that, and they forget to take it all away. So our club actually cleans that up. So he's really passionate about cleaning up areas where you don't normally look, like they're not in your city, they're not along the roadways that you drive on, but they're kind of tucked away, or the wind have taken these garbage items and tuck them up into long grasses where you don't see them, but it affects the environment, obviously. And then an idea like Don't Idle Your Car campaign. Maybe we can get together and do a campaign in your community about don't idle your car. He's also really interested in pollinator gardens. Our club is involved with a Monarch Ultra Marathon, whereby last year he and a group of long distance runners actually ran from Peterborough all the way down to Mexico with along the route where the monarch butterfly flies, and then went to the place where the monarch butterfly actually lands in Mexico for the winter. And along the route, they would educate school children about why they were doing it and why the pollinators, bees and butterflies, are so important for our environment. So we're also thinking about not only cleaning up the environment, but educating people as to what they need to do to save our planet. Because they say if the bees disappear, our food will disappear. So just a tiny little bee, and it makes that much importance. Encourage homeowners to plant more flowers and to provide nectars for bees and butterflies. For example, at Gunter's, and you should know this, Kasia, but his front lawn is all like vegetables and fruit trees, and he doesn't have grass. He has something that's more useful and helps the environment. He says to plant milkweeds. Now, I always thought that was a weed along the side of the road, but milkweeds are very important for butterflies because that's what they need to exist. So he's actually going to give me a packet of milkweed seeds to provide food source for monarch butterflies. And encourage spring and fall planting exchange within the community. Maybe we could go to the community and see if they would do a pollinator garden or a vegetable garden or some such. Then composting. Composting is very important as well. Tons of biodegradable material, I'm just reading it here, is dumped into the landfills every day. Potential organic matter is buried with plastic or other trash and lost forever. Huge amounts of methane gas is created by rotting biomass, adding to the greenhouse effect and global warming. So he thinks we could advocate for city composting if your city or town does not do it. Provide composting information to homes. I know we get it here, but not everybody does get it. Encourage restaurants, food processing, and institutions to set up composting collections. So that's an idea. And he is a chef, so he knows a lot about where food goes when restaurants finish preparing food. And a lot of that food goes in the garbage. Can it not be composted? So that's another idea for him. Community gardens. He says to promote the creation of community gardens in your communities. Why not? A way for people without gardens to grow food on the public land. And it's kind of interesting that he said this because my daughter lives in the center of London, Ontario, and she lives in an apartment complex, and they actually have a community garden where if anybody wants to pay $20 a month, they get a plot of land where they can grow their own produce. And they don't have to, plant their own produce. They can just use it as an outdoor area, and they can sit there and have their little lawn chairs, etc. But a lot of them plant their own fruit trees and their own vegetables. So they're doing that right in the city. Promote or provide workshops for communities on how to grow vegetables. He is really big in this because he teaches our club what we should be doing and when we should be planting and what we should be planting. and when we should be harvesting that. He actually took us to a garden and showed us different plants. So again, he's really advocating the education of how to grow your vegetables in your community. Invasive species. There are a number of invasive species of plants that choke and kill other native species, harming the environment and affecting native wildlife. Informing landowners about them and organizing outings to down their spread. We have a lot of vines along my road here that are actually going up and choking maple trees. And every time I see one of these vines, I'm in there and I'm pulling it out. I'm pulling it out. I'm pulling it out. But I'm just me. But I mean, it's frightening to see in the last 20 years since I've lived here, where I live in Peterborough, just north of Peterborough, how fast these vines are spreading. So it's something like that we need to think about as well. Tree planting. Scientists tell us that healthy trees will not only provide shade, they will secure soil from eroding. I don't think I had to tell anybody that. Provide shelter for birds and convert carbon dioxide to oxygen. That's just basic. So we could encourage clubs, our group here could encourage clubs and individuals to have planting sessions. Why don't we go out and plant some trees? One of the objectives of our club, our organization, would be connecting with our environmental groups, and a lot of you are here that can do that, to exchange knowledge, combine efforts, and have a strong voice for the environment. So this was the contribution to our group tonight from Gunter. So I just thought I would like to share that with you. So I'm going to turn it over to Kathleen.
Yeah. Thank you, Lynn. And just to emphasize that last piece, I'm so impressed with many of the attendees tonight. And a number of you have a great background in environmental protection and winning awards and so on. So it'll be a very, an awareness, having awareness out in the community is such a huge need and such a huge benefit, where if they only knew what we know, and I know it's kind of, it should be easy for people to find out how to do many of these things that Lynn just talked about, but it isn't easy, and it always bears repeating. So to be able to, perhaps create a speaker series where we are, getting an audience together and educating would be fantastic, I think, because awareness could really help. We wanted to take a minute, Lynn and I, to just see if just a few of you might have some comments at this point about what we've said so far. And yeah, I'm just going to give you a minute to think about that. And
do you have any questions or?
Yeah, any thoughts?
I mean, this group, Kathleen and I and Gunter and Bill are going to be the facilitators. We're not going to be the leaders. We're all leaders. I mean, we will organize the group. We may bring in a speaker or so, but if any one of you who wants to continue with this into the future, if you have ideas of what you would like to do or you would like to see, or maybe you have a speaker that you would like to address us. I mean, this is your group. It's not our group. It's all of our group. And whether you're a Rotarian or whether you're not a Rotarian, the focus is on the environment and saving the environment. And what can we do to be impactful in our community? And this is the premise of this whole idea. So.
Thanks, Lynn. Brian, anybody who would like to speak, you can just raise your hand. And Brian raised his hand a second ago.
And just before Brian speaks, Adrian, you just joined us. Could you just say who you are and what club you're from, if you're a Rotarian? You're muted. You're muted.
There we go. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Sorry, I'm late. I just got
okay.
home.
That's okay.
My name's Adrian Musters. I'm from the Huntsville Rotary Club. We were having our President's Night tonight, so we're a little late. I don't know. If
I just saw you there.
Okay, so I'm not sure if Katie's involved or not, but we're the dynamic duo leading the Environment Committee this year after Cam's death. So we're taking over, and this group sounds very interesting, and we're wanting to find out what it's all about and happy to join up.
Okay, thank you.
You're
So,
welcome.
thank you. Brian was going to say something.
Yeah, so I just wanted to try to understand a little better. You mentioned earlier with the introductory remarks about this is sort of like an idea exchange group and not the direction is changed to not sort of organizing as a club.
Right.
So I just wanted to understand more of the why not the club.
Okay. All right. So we have been in touch with a couple of other groups that are attempting to form eco-Rotary clubs. So what we are trying to stay away from initially is to have people feel that, oh, I have to leave my own club to join this eco club. And we didn't want the existing clubs where you're members to all of a sudden say, oh, look at Lynn and Kathleen. They're just stealing our members, the nerve of them. So we are trying to get away from that kind of feedback or pushback. And initially, we're just going to start it as a cause-based group that is focusing on the environment, getting resources, getting ideas, and sharing them back to our club. Now, in the future, in the long range future, like one of the clubs we were speaking to at one of our meetings last week, they're a year into their process and they're still not a Rotary club yet. They're still working through the kinks, but they're focusing on environmental issues. And the idea is that anybody can join that group, whether they're Rotarians, whether they're non-Rotarians, and that's how it's going to start. And hopefully we will morph into a Rotary club going forward. What happens is this one club out in BC is called a satellite club. And as you may know, satellite clubs have to be sponsored by a Rotary club. And a satellite club has to have a Rotarian who's acting as a president, and maybe you'll have a secretary and a treasurer for that. So we want to stay away from that initially. We want to get the group together. We want to get people who are dedicated to the cause first, and then maybe morph into a Rotary club after. Richard, sorry, Brian, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. So just for further clarity, then we're not really fundraising. We're not really doing anything that requires funding. This is really an idea group.
Yeah.
And then for us to take those thoughts, ideas, things we learn back to our own clubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
Yeah. And it's interesting to note that I think tonight there's at least 6 of us or 7 of us that are not Rotarians. So that's wonderful. They could be new Rotarians.
Exactly. And that
if
is
we were a club.
That is that's another idea, Brian, because one of the reasons why we're starting, another reason why we're starting it, not just to save the environment, but is to introduce non-Rotarians to what Rotarians do, and maybe they'll be so enthralled with us that they'll say, "Oh my God, I've got to be a Rotarian because you guys are having so much fun and you're making such an impact in the community." So hopefully it's a win-win situation. So we'll hopefully get more Rotarians. And then we want to work with the environment as well. So
Thank you,
Richard has his hand up.
Lynn, you're, as our DG, are also a proponent of fellowships. That this could be an environmental fellowship.
Yes, it could.
Rotary Environmental Fellowship. So that way you don't have to be a club, you don't have to be the fundraiser, but as a fellowship, you can do everything that you've said tonight.
You do have to be a Rotarian to be in a fellowship. That's the only thing.
Well, no, you could be guests.
Yes, but in order to be called a member of the fellowship, I mean, you could invite a guest to a meeting or you can invite a guest to an event. But in order to be a part of a fellowship, you do have to be a Rotarian. Whereas this, to begin with, we don't want to put that restraint on there. But yes, We could do an environmental fellowship going down the lines, definitely. Any more questions? Yes, Kezia?
Sorry, I'm not good at the mute.
That's okay.
Just curiosity with respect to, so I understand that for Rotary International, the folder, the focus on environment has been added to kind of one of their portfolios. And I personally think that's fantastic, because that's one of those concepts that bring it to the broader scope of the world through the Rotarian network. But the sense within your clubs is to the uptake of that as a focus for Rotary. I'm kind of trying to understand the idea of, does this still help promote that within the regular kind of Rotary club, Rotary group? Is it something that people are saying, hey, that's neat, we've got a new focus, let's get engaged? Or is it a, let's see how it goes with these offshoots or these groups that are people that have an interest, sort of thing? I'm kind of getting two mixed messages here, that while Rotary itself is getting a focus on environment, getting something done is it's a little easier to kind of do it as an independent.
Okay, so Rotary has always been involved with environment. They just haven't made it a focus of our foundation. Our club, the Peterborough Kawartha Club, like Gunter has always been the chair of our environment committee. So our club has always had an environmental committee, and not every club has that because they have their own culture, they have their own committees, and but we've always had one. So we've always done a river road cleanup, we've always done garbage pickup somewhere, we've always done that. But now, I guess with the world order as it is, and we realize how very dire straits that the earth is in at this point in time because of all the greenhouse gases, the plastic, the horrible plastic buildup all over the world and in the oceans. Rotary felt that they should make an emphasis. So it made it a 7th area of focus that they would like all clubs to consider going forward, that they would incorporate it into their club culture. So did that answer your question?
Well, I guess I'd be just as curious to find out, is this group, I kind of imagined, would be something that would help a number of clubs really help understand that focus and where they might want to take it, versus being exclusive from all the clubs.
Okay, Kathleen, did you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer?
Yeah, well, I do want to say that it's a great question, and we are, first of all, this is our first meeting, as you know, and we've had some pre-meetings, of course, to prepare for it and thought about it for quite a while now, but we are evolved. It's going to definitely be an evolution. Some of us, and I do think that being assistance to existing Rotary clubs would be a very great vision of ours, like a very good mission, a direction we should go in, because Rotary is, very widespread and very powerful. And if we can help the environment clubs within each of the Rotary clubs be more effective with knowledge and information and ideas, then it would spread a lot faster. It would get out there a lot faster. Like, I was really inspired by this one project that Lynn made reference to. It was called the Great Lakes Watershed Cleanup. And every Rotary club around the whole of Great Lakes was invited to partake of. Many of them did. And the idea was to do a major cleanup. But it's always, cleaning up is one thing. The bigger thing is the awareness and spreading it all around all the Great Lakes, that we need to keep it clean, we need to protect it. That was the message. And they were literally measuring the amount of garbage they were picking up and creating a huge database of numbers of how much they cleaned up. And again, it's to emphasize that importance. So I do think we need to find ways to link into the existing Rotary clubs to use that power of numbers to get the get things done and get it more into every community, how important this is. Rotarians have always been leaders in their community, and we can use that to get more of the word out there. I don't know if that answered your question.
And we have been connecting with this one lady. Her name is Sherry from the BC Eco Club. And she said that they have a Facebook page where they put all their information on the Facebook page, and they share them with other clubs in their district, in their neighboring districts, in their communities. So they can get ideas from people who post on the Facebook, and they can also give out information as well. So it is going to be a connectivity organization so that we can share information. And so we're thinking that not only can we actually physically clean up our environment by doing projects, but we can also educate that. And the educational part is, to us, a really, really important part. Some clubs will say, well, what can we do? Because Gunter has actually talked to a few clubs, and they say, well, we don't know what to do for an environmental project. And we're going, okay. So this is where I see us helping them a little bit. And we can get speakers, and via Zoom, we can get, oh, bye-bye, Heather, thank you. We can get speakers from around the world who could come to one of our group meetings, who could share information, and then we can take that information and go back to our clubs and say, this is what what we would suggest that you'd be interested in doing. So we're hoping that that would be the essence of what our job would be. Now, Kathleen, she has a slide about more information.
Yes, so we're down to the last 3 minutes. We want to respect our commitment. We asked you to come for an hour, and we're very glad you did. Oh, thank you, Dave. Next one, more information. Oh. You know what, Dave? I don't need it because there's not much on it anyway. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's coming. Not that one.
The one up. The one up.
One or two up.
Oh, two up.
Up. There's only a couple of points on it anyway. Number one, and just in case you're wondering about these things, there's no fees. We want you to come. We want you to be part of the group to get going on helping the environment. That's the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we were thinking of having meetings twice a month.
There it is.
Meet twice a month. But in the summer, we thought we would stick with once a month in the summer and then move to twice a month in September. So just if you could put in your date timers, if you would, the next two meetings, July 21st on the screen and August 18th. And we very much encourage you to bring a friend. We would like to grow. We'd like to be, to really have an impact. It's great to have more people. And that point there from the top, member qualification, we want you all and your friends. So there's no, Rotarian, non-Rotarian, we're very happy to have you be on with us. And that's kind of the details of it. Any questions about that?
Okay, we can.
What time?
Just go to the next slide. Sorry, Dave.
What time are these meetings?
Oh, sorry. Thank you for that. We'll stick with 7 to 8, right, Lynn?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and you've got the dates, July 21 and August 18th, 7 to 8.
Thank you.
So we thought we would challenge you to maybe do an initial kickoff project. So in other words, you came to class today and now you get some homework. So we were wondering we thought we would pick a project that anyone could do right now. Like I can go outside my house right now and I can walk up and down the street and I can pick up some garbage and I can bring it home. So we thought we would challenge each and every one of you and maybe bring some friends in and family members and maybe do a roadside or for a riverside cleanup or a park cleanup between now and July 21st. And when we come back together for our meeting on July 21st, maybe come back with some information about what you did do. Now, in this COVID environment, when you're doing something like this, I don't expect you to organize your whole club to go out there and do a roadside cleanup because you know, you need to have masks, you need to social distance. But if you can do that, and if everyone is adhering to the health regulations, if you wanted to get a group of people going out doing roadside cleanups and park cleanups, and we invite you to do that, and just get the ball rolling here about saving the environment. So we thought we would have you take pictures of what you're doing, maybe tell us what kind of garbage you're picking up. Is it industrial garbage that floats down your river? Is it a lot of just food wrappers? Is it Timmy cups? Is it, what type of garbage are you picking up as well? So that's kind of interesting. So we thought that would be your homework for this going forward. I mean, there's lots of projects that Gunter suggested, but we just thought this would be a really easy one that anyone could just go outside and do. So thank you, David. I guess you can stop sharing. I don't know what our yeah. Okay. So is there any comments, questions, whatever about this? Okay.
8:02, we're pretty good on time.
Yeah.
I put in the chat any more, there is a lot of information on our Rotary website, and you have, all of you have access to this part of it. So if you want to read up on it, there's about protecting the environment. I put it in the chat, and yeah, we'd look forward to seeing you next month. Yeah.
And if anyone here, if you're intending to come back on the 21st of July, if you have a friend you'd like to have that person share some information, would he be a resource, a contact person that could help us focus on environmental issues? That would be great as well. We could have him as a speaker. You could get in touch with me or Kathleen, and you could suggest the name of that person, and we could contact that person and invite them to be a speaker. So we're also looking for that as well. So again, it's not Kathleen's and my show, it's yours. So if you are interested, you know, it's your group, and we'd be more than willing to listen to your input. So any other questions before we end tonight?
And someday we need to make a name for ourselves.
Yeah, that's another thing we can think about.
Yeah. Who are we anyway?
Yeah. Okay, so if there's no other questions, we will be sending out a link to everybody who was here tonight. And again, if you have some friends who would like to come, please have us give them have you give them our names or our contacts or vice versa, and we can get in touch with them. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Thank you very, very much for coming and your interest in the environment. We only have one planet, and we gotta save her. Okay.
Thank you for inviting us.
Okay, thank you for coming. Thank you. Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, Dave.
Right, nice to meet you.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Bye.
To meet
Have
you.
a good evening.
Thank you all.
Oh, Lynn already left. I was going to talk to her, but she's gone. And I don't know who this CP is, eh, Dave? Or can you?
Doesn't give me any info on it, so I really can't say. It's just someone joined and didn't do anything.
Yeah, you can't really.
No, it doesn't give me a list of anything. It doesn't give me anything at all. Just they sign in with their name.
They didn't say anything in the whole time, or yeah, they never came off mute. They didn't introduce themselves. Oh well, they're a fly on the wall.
There you go.
Anyway, thanks, Dave. That was great. You saved us.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you later.